Three ways to start the new financial year strong in your direct selling or network marketing business. Hello, and welcome. I am Penny Inches, direct selling success coach. And if you're listening to this around the beginning of July, happy new financial year. Now, before you switch off because you think I don't really worry about financial years, or you're actually catching this and months down the track after I have recorded this episode, stick with me, right? Because whether it's the start of a new financial year, a new month, a Monday morning, or even just today, we all get the opportunity to reset if we wish to, if we want to, right? And resetting is really important. One of the biggest mistakes I see women make is believing that because the last few months haven't gone to plan, somehow the rest of the year is already decided. I'm here to tell you it's not, right? You don't need to find a new business. You don't need to jump ship to a different company. You don't even need a whole new strategy. Sometimes you simply need to stop, reflect, make a few adjustments, and move forward with intention. So today, what I am going to do with you is share three simple things that you can do right now to give yourself the best possible start to this new financial year. Now, what I would also love before we jump in is let me know that you are watching this. So whether you are watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or listening to this on Spotify, there's a spot where you can pop something in the comments. Let me know that you've had a watch or a listen. I always love to find out who has been catching up on what I have been sharing in my weekly podcasts. All right, so let's jump on in. So, first tip, it is important to reflect before you reset, right? Before you start setting new goals, I want you to take a moment to look backwards, not to beat yourself up, not to feel guilty, but to learn, right? You need to learn about, what's been going. So you need to be asking yourself, what actually worked over the last few months? What generated sales? Where did they come from? What helped you build relationships? What gave you confidence? And just as importantly, what didn't work, right? Because sometimes what happens is you keep repeating strategies simply because they're familiar, not because they're effective, right? And remember that nothing changes if nothing changes, right? Maybe you've spent 6 months posting product photos that nobody engages with. Maybe that's the thing that needs to change. Reflection creates awareness, right? And awareness will help you make better decisions moving forward. One of the things I encourage my Beehive program members to do regularly is actually review what's working instead of just assuming more effort will fix everything. We actually did a deep dive workshop around this just this week. And there was so many aha moments for those members that were there joining in for us live. I do always record them as well, but the best experience is always live inside of my Beehive program workshops. And the thing is, we dived into this and looking at, what's working, what's not, is because working harder, right, it isn't always the answer, right? Usually it's working smarter, right? Knowing what are the right things to be doing and doing more of those things, right? Remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. One of my favorite sayings. Second tip for you. Choose one area to improve, right? It's another mistake I see a lot of, right? Women trying to fix everything at once, okay? Or thinking that they need to be everywhere all the time, right? Maybe you're sort of, you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to post every day and I'm going to start reels every day and I'm going to recruit every day and I'm going to message everyone every day. Oh, and I'm also going to throw learning in like another platform like Instagram or YouTube, right? And it's exhausting before you've even started. And you honestly don't need to be doing all of the things, right? It isn't actually necessary and it can be very overwhelming, right? Instead, what is better is for you to ask yourself one simple question. So I want you to ask this one, right? What is the one skill that if I improved it would have the biggest impact on my direct selling or network marketing business? That is a really important question to ask yourself, right? Maybe it's learning better Facebook strategies, learning what actually works on Facebook in 2026 to get you the sales, to attract new people, to attract team members and all those things, right? Maybe it's about becoming more confident on camera. That you feel would make the biggest impact. Maybe it's improving your conversations with potential customers. Maybe it's learning how to recruit new team members or sign up VIP customers without feeling awkward about it, right? Because when you focus your energy, you build momentum, right? And momentum creates confidence. Confidence leads to consistent action. And consistent action leads to better results. But what I want you to remember is Rome was not built in a day, right? And I've said this to a number of my new Beehive program members, a number of the fabulous new women that have joined over the last few months. Have come into the program because they've never done social media training. They don't understand all the Facebook strategies. They don't understand how Facebook works for you to build a business, right? And so we've done, I've got so many trainings on that. But, again, there's that like, oh my God, I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that and I need to be doing this. And it's doing, and it's like, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, right? It becomes totally overwhelming. You don't need to do all of it right from the get-go, right? Rome was not built in a day. Focus on one thing at a time that you can improve and learn how to do and improve and get better at it. Take consistent action with it. And then once you've mastered how to do that, then move on to, adding something else in, learning something else that will also help you to grow your direct selling or network marketing business, right? The third tip I want to share with you today is about putting success in your diary first. Let me explain what I mean, right? And this one can be uncomfortable, but it is important, right? If your business only fits into the spare moments, it will probably only produce spare results, right? Makes sense? So if you are just squeezing your direct selling or network marketing business into time, little moments here and there, and you don't prioritize time for it, realistically, you're not going to, necessarily build the, hugely successful business that you want, right? And look, success looks different for everybody, right? Some people, I know some of you would be, it's about earning $1,000 a month in income. For others, you want the whole shebang. You want the $5,000 or $10,000 in income. You want the company car. You want the incentive trips, and all of the things. Everybody's version of success is different. You got to know what it is. Okay, and I've talked about that a lot lately too, knowing what your goals are, knowing what that looks like, and working towards them, right? But if realistically, if you want those those big things, right, and you're only squeezing your business into little moments of time, you're not giving it priority, it's going to be really difficult to get where you want to be, right? And totally life is busy. 100% know that, right? My life is busy too. We all are busy, right? I don't think there's many out there who aren't busy in one way or another, right? I totally understand that, right? I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a business owner. I'm a cat mum as well. We're going to do a trip to the vet this week in amongst everything else, right? And so many of the women that I coach are, juggling work, children, grandchildren, family commitments, and everything else that life throws at them, right? But successful businesses rarely happen by accident, right? They happen because someone, maybe it's you, decided they were important enough to prioritize, right? Because it's important to you to prioritize building the business, the successful business that you want, right? Even if it's only 30 minutes a day, protect that time. Treat it like an appointment, right? Because every successful direct selling and network marketing business is built through consistent action, right? Not occasional motivation, okay? And progress over perfection. I've been talking about this one a lot lately too. Progress over perfection, right? You don't have to be perfect. You've just got to take action. You just got to make that progress, right? The sooner you take action, the sooner you're going to see results, right? Look, back when I first started my direct selling business back in 2006, can you believe 20 years ago I did that? And then I also can't believe that I got out of it and started my coaching business like 5.5 years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, where does time go? Like, seriously, like COVID, that was 6 years ago. Like, what? It's crazy, right? But back when I got into it and over the years, I spent 16 years in direct selling, there were plenty of times that I could have convinced myself I wasn't making progress quickly enough, right? And we often do that, right? We often go, we've got these big, hairy, audacious goals. Hey, look, I've still got big, hairy, audacious goals, right? And we often feel like we aren't making progress as quickly as we'd like to, right? But you know what? Every time I learned a new skill, every time I became a little more confident, every time I stayed consistent, things improved. Not necessarily overnight, but over time, right? Remember, Rome was not built in a day. But eventually, those small improvements, those things I learned, those things I put into action, I did consistently and became better at. And look, and I'm still doing that to this day, right? Eventually, those small improvements became a multi-million-dollar direct selling business, right? With incredible opportunities. I met some amazing women. I went on 11 incentive trips, around the world. Industry awards. I was awarded the Direct Selling Association of Australia's Distributor of the Year in 2020, not long before I got out and started my coaching business because, the world changed in 2020. And now the privilege of helping thousands of women just like you who is tuning in and watching or listening to this podcast and those inside of my Beehive membership program build businesses that they genuinely love. It really, truly is my passion, is to help women just like you to build a more successful direct selling and network marketing business by learning what are the right Facebook strategies that you should be using to attract people to you, to make more sales, to recruit new people, all of those things. And I do all of those things inside of my Beehive membership program, right? And because I've been on this journey, right, in my direct selling business time, and then also, growing a coaching business, it's still growing a business, right? And that's why I know that your next 6 months don't have to look anything like your last 6 months, right? So as we begin this new financial year, I would love you to remember these 3 things, right? Reflect before you reset. Choose one area to improve. And put your business into your diary alongside everything else, right? If you can, put it before everything else, right? But that's going to be determined by how much of a priority your business is, creating a successful business is. But it should definitely rank up there. If it is important to you, it should be ranking up there with work commitments, family commitments, your health commitments, maybe, you like to go to the gym or whatever it is, right? Your business should definitely be one of those priorities, and it should be allocated time in your diary if you want to be successful, right? Because small, consistent actions really do create extraordinary results over time, right? Now, of course, if you'd like support learning the Facebook strategies, I've talked a little bit about it today, those sales techniques and the recruiting skills that are working right now, I'd love to help you inside of my Beehive membership program. I encourage you to send me a DM if you would like to book in for one of my free roadmap calls. In a roadmap call, what do? We talk about where you are in your direct selling or network marketing business right now. Where do you want to be? And what do you need to do to get there? And then if I feel that joining my program would be a good fit for you, we'll solve the problem, solve the issues, give you the learning that you need, then we'll have a chat about that as well. All right, lovelies, if you have enjoyed today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a review, do say hi, or share this episode with another woman in direct selling or network marketing who you feel would benefit from watching or listening to this too. Appreciate you being here and listening in for this week's podcast episode. I hope you have an amazing week in the coming days, because this is dropped on a Thursday afternoon, but you might be watching this whenever. So whatever the week ahead looks like for you, I hope it is going to be amazing. I hope you have an amazing month. And I will see you on Facebook or in the next episode. Catch you soon. Bye for now. See ya.